For those of you who don't know, Martel Electronics is a manufacturer of precision instrumentation that measures and sources current, volts, temperature, frequency, and pressure. By now you've seen the Patriots and you might have even heard of Deflate-gate. The accusation is that the Patriots purposely deflated the game balls under the league mandated 12.5 to 13.5 psi. In theory, this would give Tom Brady a better grip and control. I guess he prefers the balls to be around 12.5 psi. So let's look at the physics in an ideal gas law. The ideal gas law gives you the behavior of many gases under many conditions with limitations. So the actual equation for the gas law is PV equals nRT. P denotes the pressure of the gas, V denotes the volume of the gas, N is the amount of substance of the gas, also known as the number of moles, R is the ideal or universal gas constant, and T is the temperature of the gas. Now, when I said limitations, you have to take in consideration density. So the one thing that the ideal gas law assumes is dry air. So in order to get things right, you must compensate for the air density. So if you look at this equation here, we substitute for the molecular weight of the actual air itself, mass and mole. You rewrite the equation, and you actually get density, which is rho. And when you solve and rewrite the equation, you get density times R times T. We have some references in the bottom if you want to check that out. So by now, I'm not here to teach you physics or math. You're probably already bored, so let's get to the good stuff. So, if I fill the footballs in a locker room using a pressure pump or some sort of compressor where the air temperature is 75 and relative humidity is about 80%, and then head out to Gillette Stadium where the game day temperature was around 40, it was rainy, the humidity was in the upper 90th percentile, what happens? First I want to show you this. This is a great snapshot of official testing the ball. This was actually in Chicago, I believe in 2013, and we have a link here so you can check that out when you get a chance. So bottom line, after you do all the mathematical equations and take into consideration the physics, the pressure could have easily dropped 1 psi or more from the NFL mandated pressure, from 12.5 to 13.5 psi. So how can Martel Electronics prevent this from coming up ever again? Well, I'm going to cover that. So let's look here. Today I have our beta gauge PI probe, 100 psi. This is rated at 0.05% of full scale, which means it's 0.05 psi accurate throughout the range. We do have other ranges available from 0.4 psi all the way up to 10,000 psi. Now what's nice is that all of our Martel products come with a NIST cert and data. So NIST stands for the National Institute of Standards and Technology. So what does this mean? This means it's proof or validation of our pressure readings to a known parameter, mass, length, or time. Since pressure equals force over area, you get the picture. In addition, I have our 2000 psi MACP pump, which can create vacuum to minus 14 psi, and pressure pneumatically. In this demonstration today, I have my kids' Pee Wee football, which is regulated to 7 to 9. We need to keep things interesting since we are in New Hampshire. So as you can see here, I can regulate the pressure. I'm going to turn on the display. I can bump it up. So we're about 8.33. We can dial in fine values with the vernier. We can go down and up. Now let's say I need to record the data. I can simply turn the gauge to logging and buy the additional beta log software, so now we can record the results. Now keep in mind we do have other solutions such as our MACP 500, which does 500 psi pneumatically. And we have our beta gauge, PIR, reference class gauge, which gives you 0.04% of reading over 0 to 50 degrees C. So in conclusion, let's wrap things up. we have some potential solutions to prevent further accusations. So let's let the football sit out at game time conditions at least a half an hour to allow for stabilization prior to testing. Make the pressure adjustments prior to the game start. What else can we do? We can purchase a Martel Beta-gauge, PI Pro Series gauge, and check the footballs prior to game start and perhaps at halftime. Number 3, document the test results using the optional Beta Log software. Now keep in mind these are made in New Hampshire. We want to say go Patriots. If you have any questions or comments, send us your feedback, give us a call. Last but not least, we have to give our props to Fluke Calibration, which is our parent company. Even though they're in Seattle, we'll just leave it at that.